In the high-stakes world of Formula One, victories are measured in fractions of a second, and legends are written in points. But what happens when history itself is challenged? In 2008, a single point separated glory from heartbreak. Lewis Hamilton emerged as the world champion. But now, 15 years later, former Ferrari star Felipe Massa has launched a legal challenge that could rewrite one of the sport's most dramatic seasons. This is the story of a championship lost, a scandal revealed, and a courtroom battle that pits the sport's governing bodies against a driver seeking justice. And $82 million. The 2008 Formula One season was one of the closest in history. Every race mattered. Every corner was a potential game-changer. Felipe Massa, a Brazilian driver racing for Ferrari, fought fiercely all season, only to lose the championship to Lewis Hamilton by the tiniest margin, one single point. The drama culminated in the Brazilian Grand Prix, Massa's home race. As the checkered flag approached, Hamilton needed a fifth-place finish to claim the title. On the very last corner of the final lap, he did exactly that, securing the championship by the slimmest of margins. For Massa, it was a moment of heartbreak broadcast to millions, an agonizing reminder of what might have been. But behind the scenes, another story was waiting to emerge, a story that would challenge the very legitimacy of that final result. Central to Massa's legal challenge is the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix, a race that would later become infamous as the Crashgate scandal. On lap 14, Renault driver Nelson Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed into the wall at turn 17. Under orders from his team principal, Flavio Briatore, and chief engineer, Pat Simons. The purpose of the crash was shockingly strategic. Trigger a safety car, benefiting Piquet's teammate, Fernando Alonso, who had pitted just moments before. The deployment of the safety car caused chaos at the front of the pack. Massa, who had been leading the race, was forced into the pits. During the stop, Ferrari made a critical error, leaving the fuel hose attached, resulting in a drive-through penalty. Massa finished 13th outside the points. That single race would ultimately determine the championship's outcome. The difference between winning and losing the 2008 title, 1 point. Fast forward to 2023. Felipe Massa's legal team filed a lawsuit in the High Court of London against Formula One management, the FIA, and former F1 chief Bernie Ecclestone. The claim, $82 million in damages, arguing that the championship was stolen due to a deliberate cover-up of the Singapore incident. The lawsuit contends that the governing bodies were aware of the intentional crash during the 2008 season but failed to act, effectively concealing critical information from the public and the competitors. According to Massa's lawyers, this inaction constitutes a breach of contract and a duty of care owed to the drivers. The legal argument hinges on 2 points. First, the Singapore Grand Prix results directly impacted the championship outcome. Second, new evidence, in the form of Bernie Ecclestone's public statements, confirms that FIA leadership knew about the incident but chose to ignore it. The scandal officially came to light in 2009, leading to severe penalties for the Renault team. Briatore and Simons were banned, Briatore for life. But the FIA chose not to annul the race results. Their justification: championship results are considered final once the season concludes. Massa's legal team, however, argues that the principle of finality cannot override evidence of deliberate fraud and cover-up. This is a direct challenge to the long-standing precedent that once a championship is awarded, it cannot be contested. The lawsuit is not an attack on Lewis Hamilton, who remains untouched in this legal battle, but the stakes are immense. If Massa succeeds, the 2008 World Championship could be officially reconsidered, potentially altering the historical record of the sport. Massa's claim isn't just about points and prestige. The lawsuit seeks $82 million, reflecting lost sponsorships, career opportunities, and earnings that could have come with being a world champion. Formula One Drivers are not just athletes, they are brands. And a world championship title exponentially increases financial value. Experts calculate that being champion versus runner-up can mean tens of millions of dollars in bonuses, sponsorships, and career leverage. For Massa, this lawsuit represents both justice and compensation for a career-defining moment that slipped away due to circumstances outside his control. F1, the FIA, and Bernie Ecclestone have mounted a robust defense. Their primary argument: the claim is time-barred. The legal limit for challenging the 2008 results has long expired, and opening the case now could set a dangerous precedent, encouraging challenges to other historical sporting results. They insist that the principle of finality is essential for maintaining the sport's integrity. Without it, every past championship could be questioned. Allowing the case to proceed, they argue, would destabilize the foundation of Formula One. In late 2025, a critical three-day hearing took place. Lawyers for both sides presented detailed arguments. Massa's team argued that the deliberate nature of the Singapore incident and the subsequent cover-up invalidated the time-bar defense. The defendants countered that the legal principles of finality must be preserved to protect the sport's history. The judge has reserved judgment, leaving the entire F1 community in suspense. The preliminary ruling will determine whether Massa's challenge proceeds to a full trial, potentially opening the door to extensive disclosure of internal communications from 2008 and 2009. At the heart of this legal battle is more than just money or records. It's the story of a driver denied his moment of glory. Massa's pursuit is deeply personal, fueled by years of reflection on what could have been. For fans, it's a reminder that in sport, the difference between triumph and heartbreak can be smaller than a heartbeat. Yet the consequences can last a lifetime. Hamilton may have secured the 2008 title on the track, but the courtroom now becomes the arena for Massa, and every revelation, every witness statement, could change the narrative forever. The outcome of this case will have far-reaching implications. A ruling in Massa's favor could redefine how Formula One handles historical disputes and establish legal precedent for challenging past sporting outcomes. It would force governing bodies to reckon with the consequences of concealed information and deliberate manipulation, highlighting the tension between sporting integrity and the finality of results. Conversely, a dismissal would reinforce the principle that once a championship is awarded, it cannot be revisited, regardless of new evidence. Either way, the decision will shape the governance and legacy of Formula One for decades to come. The judge's decision is still pending, and the world waits. Felipe Massa's legal action is more than a fight for recognition. It's a test of whether historical injustices in sport can be corrected when evidence of wrongdoing emerges years later. This is a story of drama on and off the track, of victory and heartbreak, and of a driver who refuses to let history define him without the truth being told. For Formula One fans and the global sports community, the case raises questions that go beyond the circuit. Can time erase injustice, or is the truth always worth fighting for? The 2008 championship, a race decided by a single point, now faces scrutiny in a courtroom instead of a racetrack. History hangs in the balance, and one man's pursuit of justice could forever alter the story of Formula One. Felipe Massa's journey is a testament to resilience, courage, and the relentless pursuit of what is right. It reminds us that in the world of sports, victories can be celebrated, but injustices must be challenged. One point may have decided a championship in 2008, but today, the fight for truth drives Massa forward, proving that sometimes the greatest races are fought long after the checkered flag falls.